What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Grand Tactician Civil War 1861 to 1865 video. Um, I'm in the middle. I'm in the actual middle of a match. I didn't. This is where I kind of left off. I just had these soldiers move up. I was starting to stream and found out that my son turned on to put the mic on, the mute on. Excuse me. So I might be just. Oh, there we go. Put my guys there and get a nice view of where the Confederates are. So I got my guys coming up. I started out here, and my guys coming around here. And this is a different map. Also, if the audio sounds weird, doesn't sound. Ah, okay. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, if the audio sounds a little off, let me know. Uh, so I was literally going off for like a half hour, and none of that was recorded. So I guess, start from the beginning. Uh, All right, let's see how where the Confederates are. So one thing that I wanted to talk to you guys today is if you guys would be interested in me doing like political commentary on videos that I see, like Ukrainian war, also things that I just watch on YouTube. The reason why I would bring that up is I saw a really interesting, what do you call it, video on YouTube today, and it was about, yeah, it was about this kid, and I'll bring up the video real quick since my guys are still moving. It's on Audit the Audit. This is a really good channel. This is the one that I watched, right?
Welcome to Aud.
It's this one right here. This is really interesting. Um, and so I watched it earlier today, and it just had me thinking about a lot of stuff about what's going on, and how do I say? I guess with police, and police in general, traffic stops, things like that. The reason why I wanted to talk about it, and I guess I'll bring it up in this video. If you guys like it, I'll do like individual videos about TikToks or other YouTube videos that I watch that will be interesting. So one thing that this guy was this video, the audit. I'll try to put a link in the description after this video if I remember. Hopefully I remember. My mind is, once you get older, I can't remember anything. I'm lucky I tie my shoes when I leave the house. Anyway, so basically, it's this college athlete. He's 19, 20 years old. He looks like a responsible kid, right? A cop comes up to him because pulls him over because he had his high beams on, and he was saying that my front light is out, so he had to use his high beams. And the cop was like, "You can't use high beams in the city," and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that," kind of thing. Anyway, so he's like license, registration, insurance, all that stuff. So the kid does what I do, right? Which is open up the glove box, fumble with your papers, like, oh, there's my registration, and like, oh, where's my insurance? Where's my insurance? So I do that. So what the kid was doing was reminded me what I do, because I'm not as organized as I should be. So the kid eventually gives it, right, and the kid looks sober. He looks fine. The cop's like, all right, step out of the car. You're going to come to my squad car, and puts him in. He says, how much did you have to drink tonight? And the kid's like, nothing. Like, he's just like, really? He's like, why do you have bloodshot eyes? It's like, I don't know. I mean, I had my contacts in earlier. He's like, mm-hmm. And, the cop's like, he says, why are you slurring speech? And I'm like, I'm watching this through the police camera that the guy has, and the kid wasn't slurring his speech. So it was just really weird. Oh, I need to put. Shoot. Okay. So the kid wasn't slurring his speech at all. So I'm just kind of like, that's weird. I don't know why the cop, you know, it's Fourth Brigade. Why the cop thinks the kid's slurring his speech or whatever. Anyway, so the kid does, goes with the cop. I thought I had three infantry brigades. Unless one's back. No, there's got to be more than one. So yeah, the kid does what he needs to. Goes in the cop car, and cop's like, he's like, you have bloodshot eyes. Kid's like, I contacts, all this stuff. Anyway, the kid's like, the cop's like, can you do some field sobriety tests? And goes through, like, it's pouring rain, by the way. So he goes out and does like a bunch of field sobriety tests. Kid's doing them like perfect, and he's saying yes sir, no sir, right, what you're supposed to do with a police officer, right? So I didn't see anything wrong that the kid was doing. It was maybe like 15, 20 minutes in. I could see the kid was getting a little upset, when the cop was questioning, it was like, when's the last time you drank something? When, what were you doing at your friend's house? Like, my head, I'm like, why do you need to know what this individual is doing at his friend's house? Like, that's out of scope, like, you know, he's like, when's the last time did you smoke weed? And kid was like, I don't remember. A long time ago. And the kid's like a college athlete, so he was saying he gets tested every week, right? So obviously he doesn't, smoke weed or, do that kind of stuff. Where the heck is the Confederate force? That's weird. Go here. Anyway, so that's where the Confederate brigade was. So yeah, the kid was doing all those kind of things, walking, step after step, and uh, did all the field things properly. Uh, but the cop was finding like little things that he was doing wrong. And the kid was like, "Can I just blow in the thing?" So the cop brings it out. Kid does that, scores zero point 0. And the kid's like, "Okay." And the cop's like, "All right, so I'm gonna read you your Miranda rights now." Like, what the frack, right? Difficult to beat Perrin content when it comes to Ukraine. Perrin's, yeah, I know him. I think I find him. I think I follow him. Perrin. Oh yeah, yeah. I follow the channel. That's a great channel, man. I watch all these. This is incredible. I love this channel. Um, but yeah, so the cop is, how you call it, arrested him, and the kid's like, "Why are you arresting me?" He was just like, "Because I believe you are under the influence of drugs." The kid's like, I'm not. So anyway, they bring him to the police station. They ask him if you want to do like a drug evaluation test. So the kid does it. Comes out good, right? And so they release him. So they release him anyway. So the kid, I call it, posts the video of the cops, whatever thing, um, on YouTube and TikTok, and it takes off. This is like the second time I saw the video. Anyway, the mayor, the police chief, and the police department evaluated it and said that the kid was in the wrong. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Based upon the camera footage, I wouldn't say the kid was wrong. Did did he not supposed to have his high beams on? Probably, yeah. Does anybody make that mistake? Yeah, I know I've probably made that mistake multiple times. Like people forget. I can tell you in Brooklyn, like I've been driving so many years, like sometimes I accidentally, oh man, I left the high beams on or whatever. I've done that numerous times. Um, does it warrant, like that whole thing? No. Was the cop, if you watch the video, was the cop doing more than he should in terms of, like, I'm not gonna say harassment, but like extending the interaction? Yeah, definitely. And I want to say, like, I'm not anti, PD or anything like that. I was raised with, like, pretty much like a quarter of my friends are all PD, different ranks too. And then I've worked joint task force with the PD. I even went to the academy, for PD academy. I didn't continue in the police career. At the time I was going through a divorce, so it was not a good time to start a new career at that time. So yeah. Anyway, um, it was funny too. I remember, one of the police departments I applied to. I had this instructor, he's a longtime detective, and he looked at me and he's just like, "I need to know when's the last time you smoked weed." And I'm like, "Oh, I never smoked weed." And he's just like, "Is that something you don't get a lot?" He says, "No, everybody smokes weed." I'm like, I've never smoked weed. He's just like, if you lie on your lie detector test, it's automatic. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so they make you do the lie detector test, and it came out, and they were like, oh wow, you've never smoked weed before. I'm like, no, it was always with the bottle with me, like while everybody was smoking, I usually just had a nice IPA or scotch, expensive scotch. I'm not talking about like the cheap scotch that you get. I'm talking about like a $30, $40 glass. Yes. Yes. And Macallan's is my thing. So anyway, so yeah, like I have a big history with how you call it, working with police and the police officers, doing joint task force. So heck, half my guard unit was like a good quarters, maybe half of them were all police, off-duty police or retired police, or there's a lot of Army National Guard that are police officers. Uh, so I knew a lot about police, but there's a few things that you know I will say that concern me. I do believe one thing that in the police department, going into the police academy and stuff like that, number one thing I do feel that there should be an age restriction. Like you should not have people that are at least under 30. And I know some people are going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And the reason why I say that is because, and I know we have soldiers that are 18, 19, 20, but it's a different type of atmosphere. You don't have to know the law to be a soldier, right? Like you're not going to be arresting civilians, American citizens, and stuff like that, right? So it's very different. And you're under tight control from platoon sergeants and stuff like that. It's not like you're going to get one car, right, and you're going to be in charge of implementing the law, which what happens in the police department, right? You're a year into your job or whatever, you have a car, you do your thing. Um, in the military, it's very different. You're never by yourself, pretty much, right? You're always going to have your squad leader, and then you're also going to have somebody else that's higher ranked than you overseeing everything you're doing. So it's very different. Anyway, I'm just going to keep checking the chat just to make sure I don't. They, they're not doing their cadence. Anyway, so yeah, so basically, when I was in the academy, right, half the class was, I would say, older, right, in the 30s, 40s, and stuff like that. That half of the class was legit. Like they came in, did their job, right, very professional, took notes, all that stuff. The other half of the class, good 30, 40%, were 20-year-olds or 18-year-olds, right, and such. Oh my gosh, I was just like, some of the stuff that I heard. Uh, One of the people that was in my department. Oh my god. So I remember we were like, the instructor left. We were sitting back, and the class president, by the way, who was in my department, was next to me, and he was like, "Man, can't wait till we hit the streets, man. Can't wait." He's just like, I'm gonna stand right at the main boulevard, whatever. And he's just like, I'm just gonna watch every fine girl that drives by, and I'm like, pull her over. I'm gonna say, listen, you can come out with me tonight, or I can give you a ticket. And they're like, yeah, right. And he's like, no, I'm serious. It's like we could do whatever we want. It's like cops, who's gonna watch us? Like who's? And I just stood there. I'm like, oh my. And then there was another officer was to my left. And she's from a different department, and she looks at me because she knows that he's attached to my department. She was like, "I am so sorry." I'm like, "I know." I was just like, "Oh crap!" And him and the other younger folk, right, that were in my department. First thing, you shouldn't be going to the academy when you're completely hungover. You shouldn't be advertising it either, right? Like, man, I'm so hungover. I'm like, you probably shouldn't be saying that. You know, where the heck are the Confederates? All right, I'm gonna move closer. Maybe I'm gonna go here. Just make sure that. But so yeah, I mean, you probably shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff. But I remember even like during the and we were in the station house in the HQ, police headquarters, by the way, right? And we were in the detectives department, right? And the class president again was just like, man, he was talking to just like, yo, was just like uh, talking to the sergeant like he was like hanging out with him. It was just like, it was just like, oh man, that's a crappy cut. Just like, like just certain things that you would not say to somebody that's a seasoned detective and you're a brand new officer who barely knows anything. The certain things that he was saying in the HQ, I was just like, and the actual senior detective was like, Pullman was like, I am not your friend. He was just like, you gotta understand that, right? You are a brand new officer. You don't know jack, and like I just stood there. I was just like, man. And I guess that's like the difference. Like I treated it like Marine Corps boot camp, right? So I was like, keep my mouth shut, do what I'm told, and that's it, right? Um, yes sir, no sir, aye sir, kind of thing. That's the way you got to kind of roll with it, right? When you're brand new, you don't know anything, you don't have any pull, nothing. So, um, but I noticed that a lot, and even with my friends, right? I'll use one of them. I'll change their name, so we'll call him Ace, right? Ace, I love Ace, right? He is former military, right? Marine Corps, balls to the walls, Marine, right? By the book, honor, courage, commitment. I mean, if you cut his, cut him, honor, courage, commitment cells would come out of his body, basically. He would be the type of person that would like if you go into what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking? Why the heck is so much noise going on downstairs? Wow, kids are really crying. I don't know what the heck is going on downstairs. Anyway, so I'll give you a good example. Is Ace, right? He is the type of Marine, right, military member that would be like in New York. We have, obviously streets, right, and we had, walk, don't walk signs, right. But I mean, you're growing up in New York, right? If you're walking up to the street, right, and there's maybe a car maybe a half mile that way, and you're like, it's New York, you're not, so you just cross the street, right? Everybody does it, right? Uh, hold on, let me. But yeah, so like, everybody does it. Everybody like jaywalks, I guess so you can call it, right? Not him, right? He is a Marine, right? And he lives by honor, courage, commitment. So even if there was no car, like it could be the middle of the night, it could be 0200 in the morning, right? And there's no car, but it says don't walk. He would literally, nope. I'm like, seriously? It's like there's no cars. Like it's 2 a.m. And he's just like, nope. Okay. you know? So he would be the only person I know that does that. He would also be like very, which like that's really honorable thing to do, right? But he would also be like the type of person that like, let's say you're walking past a trash can right on the street, right? And a lot of my friends would do this. Like they'll throw it right from like a couple of feet out, and sometimes they would get it in, sometimes they don't, right? If they don't get it in, and I was gonna say his full name, Ace was there, he'd be like, go pick that up. Like don't be nasty, right? Go pick it up, put it in the shit can, right? So hold on, let me just make sure I'm getting this right. I don't see any Confederates, so I'm really concerned where they are. Anyway, so like I said, he is balls to the wall Marine. was like that. I always looked up to him. Like he is squared away. Um, Man, I can hear him clear as day. Anyway, sorry to keep going off topic. But basically, yeah. So he left the Marine Corps, joined the PD, right, and he started changing a lot. Uh, and I'll never forget it, like clear as day, where being in the car and we're driving and he's running red lights. Like just openly, I'm like, whoa, 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 like, like, and in New York, I don't know, maybe in the country, you probably a little bit more, I guess, safe doing that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but in the city, there's always cars going. So you running a red light, there's a good chance, like you might get hit. Um, and like would never ever have like I've never so I was just kind of like shocked by that. The frack are these guys? Should probably be using cavalry to to do the scouting. But anyway, and I noticed like a lot of things besides that were also changing with him. Like the thing that another couple of things that bothered me is like what was it? I guess that was the biggest one. When you're running red lights, like you're there's a thing called courtesy in the police department. If you get like he got pulled over one time coming, his car is like literally all his windows are literally black because he's stationed in Arizona in the Marine Corps facility, and so they all have black windows there. So in New York you can't have that. And he was pulled over, and there's a thing called cop courtesy where if you're on the job, yeah, don't worry about it. Go ahead. So, but a lot of cops see that courtesy as like, yeah, pretty much do whatever I want kind of thing. And it's a little concerning, I'll be honest. And I notice it like even with, um, do you guys know where the heck the Confederates are? Like you would think they're at the objective, right? Like I have no idea where they are. I don't know why the AI would be like, all right, we're gonna hide the. I'm gonna have them move forward here. Let's see what happens. Um, so anyway, my other friends were, and this is not just him, or even the people that were in my academy class, but it was like even one of my other good friends I grew up with since we were like, I don't know, like one, right? Uh, Became, high-ranking PD, really high-ranking, and I remember being at the bar with them one time, and we were drinking, and uh, there's certain rules you can or cannot do, you know, off or on duty in the police department. And I remember like I'm at the table, whatever the bar, and he's next to me, and I think there was like ruckus going on. I might have said something stupid like, "Hey, you might have to run back to the station house, go on duty, take care of this." Something stupid, I think maybe I said, right? Which led him to. He's like, "Nah," and then he pulled up his shirt, and he had his 9mm on him. I'm like, I didn't say anything, but you are not supposed to have your weapon on you when you're drinking. Uh, so that's like a big no. But it's like little things like that, you know, that I notice. And this Star Trek thing that always pops up in my head, um, called "Who Watches the Watchers" kind of thing. Um, and I don't know, it just concerned. Why is this red now? Oh, because I didn't. Bloody. I'll move the artillery here. But yeah, I mean, it concerns me. I did have a bunch of other, stories, I'm trying to remember them. One of them was when I was, in the military. Stone Walls is taken. Oh, cool. When I was in the military and did Joint Task Force, right? We had a lot of times where we did Joint Task Force missions, and I guess I'm not trying to say like we Army National Guard and PD competed. We didn't. Army National Guard, it's very different than PD, right? And reason being is you're under the state military law, the UCMJ, right? You have to follow your orders. You can't go home. Like you're on active duty. You're a soldier, right? You have to do what you're told and such. I remember this one time we were activated for hurricane, and we were assigned to provide security for one of the evacuations centers, right? Apparently, the civilians that were managing it were a little bit overwhelmed, so they asked they called in for EOC, but like, hey, we need soldiers or police officers. So they dispatched an infantry unit of the Army National Guard to go assist, which, I was in that. I was attached to them. And so we got down there, we secured the facility, and thankfully we did, because certain things that you probably don't want is like they didn't have anybody like doing like even the minimal security. Like I remember my sergeant was asking like the head person in charge is like, do you have anybody like having like a routine, like, hey, chow's at this hour, like, do you have people making sure that there are no males going into the female head, stuff like that. And she was like, no, am I supposed to? And he was like, you probably want to. So we ensured security and stuff like that. Anyway, so it's like 0 to 100 hours, right? um, where I'm doing security at the facility, and it's a big like gymnasium where we got to make sure like the males don't go to the female side to, just for safety, security, like males don't go over to the female side and stuff like that. Anyway, I saw PD come in around maybe like 02, and we were supposed to do joint task force together. I'm like, oh, it's the first time I'm seeing PD. So they show up, and they were talking to my sergeant, and I walk over. I'm like, this is like 02, and I finally get. My sergeant was moving us around every couple hours, so I eventually got to where he was, and I'm like, hey, so I saw PD here. I was just like, are they're not going to attach somebody to like stand, Army National Guard, PD, which generally you're supposed to do, right? He was just like, no, they basically told me, um, asked me what was going on. I said everything is safe, secure, all that good stuff. And then they were like, okay, if anything goes wrong, um, we're going to be over here. Come and get me. And just like, well, I chain of command for the military is I have to go to my staff sergeant, and, kind of go that way. It's like, no, 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 we're in charge. You come get me. And I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, are you going to tell the staff sergeant that? And I believe he's like, yeah, I'm going to tell him that. And so I did see PD a little later on. I think I mentioned this in the last stream. Like I had a 5 minute break or something like that. I went downstairs, and I saw the PD in the only room that is air conditioned. This was summer, by the way. Fracking the Confederates. Anyway, so I'm gonna put some guys here just in case I can't find them. Maybe they're coming to get me, and then, like we just circled around the map or something. I don't know. So yeah. Oh, you guys notice this? So the commander of this army is McClellan. They put that in the actual map. That is actually pretty cool. So anyway, like I was saying, I went downstairs and we're all in the air-conditioned rooms, and they're watching Netflix, and I'm like, that's nice, like so when you're doing, active duty for the army and stuff like that, there is no, you know, nothing like that. You are on duty 24/7, right? There, I was lucky to get a 5 minute break during that entire 1 or 2 week activation, whatever it was. And in the military, it's not 5 minutes. Like it's all right. You got to be there a minute early. So it's like, all right, you have 4 minutes and then probably a minute to get to where you're going. So you really have 3 minutes. So it's like literally, what am I gonna do with 5 minutes, Sergeant? I'm like, it's like you could walk in, get that, and then walk right out. I'm like, all right, whatever. Anyway, so I saw the PD, and you know, I remember just walking in. I'm like, hey guys, and they're like, hey. I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, I know how much the PD there were making because, like I said, a whole bunch of my buddies were NY. I couldn't, because I know how much money they make, and so when they get on active duty for like these hurricanes and such, right? So they get that base pay, which is a lot more than what a soldier E4 was making, right? Um, so probably around, I don't know, 180, somewhere around that per day, plus pay for hazard, and I think he was getting, also told me he got another pay on top of that. So I think it was like around $400 per day to watch Netflix, which is and like I wouldn't care. I'm like, whatever, that's fine, but could you, I don't know, be attached to us, like do something, kind of thing. But I don't know. I wanted to get you guys' feedback on what you guys think about that. Like, do you feel that there's not enough um, over, I guess, oversee? What's the word I'm looking for? Accommodate? No, whatever. Basically, enough accountability, right? That's the word I'm looking for. Do you feel like there's enough accountability that the police have? What's the word I'm looking for? Um, I guess accountability. Yeah. Do you guys feel like there is that in the police department? And I know every police force is different, but I've seen it in a lot of police departments. You definitely have those people that are just like, I'm a cop, I can do whatever I want, kind of thing, and it really gets concerning too. I remember seeing a video where like a cop was, what do you call it, arresting a firefighter because firefighter put the truck at a disaster scene, and he positioned a truck where it blocked like half the lanes, um, and I was also in the fire academy, so I, I got to experience both worlds. Um, Firefighters do this to protect um, victims on a scene. So like if like there's 4 lanes of the highway, police firefighters would use their truck, right, to kind of like, if cars are going this way, they would use the truck, right, to block those 2 roads where people might be near, right? So this way, if a car is going like, I don't know, 80 miles an hour and don't see the cones or whatever, they'll smash right into the truck. They won't smash into the accident scene and stuff like that. But the police officer there was just like, no, I'm telling you, move it. And firefighters like, I can't. I'm helping doing this, and so they arrested him. Obviously, that created some news and stuff like that. But I see this a lot, and you know, even with my friends and family members that I know that PD, I've heard of numerous situations like, yeah, that's a really big breach, like that's something you're definitely not supposed to be doing. And I always keep my mouth shut. I don't say anything. Um, but in the back of my head, I'm like, wow, that's not good. Food's here. Anyway, so just kind of curious, you guys have any feedback on that? You have any stories yourself that would be interesting to hear? I don't know where the heck the Confederates are, dude. I'm like literally going around the whole map here. But yeah, that's one thing I miss being in the military. Is where the frack are they? I'm gonna keep the officer here, McClellan, here, so this way I can. But I don't even know where the Confederates are. Obviously, they're not here, and they're not here. I don't know where the AI put them. Like, are they in some kind of corner? Maybe they're here. But I did come down this way, so unless they're like against the wall, I don't know. We'll see in a minute. But yeah, it's just interesting. But I do miss being in the military. Um, some really you find out a lot of interesting things, even if you're like lower ranking. You find out really interesting things. Like I'm not even gonna go into specific detail, but there was at a point where when you know that tanks and vehicles are being put on trains, and they're talking about um, certain units taking command of the armories, and things are happening, and you're like, oh man, and then you read the news and you're like, these might too be related. I'm not gonna go into like specifics, but when you have tanks and infantry fighting vehicles being put on trains to go to a certain position, right? You know that, and units being on standby, reserve units being put on standby, things are about to go down. I do miss being like, oh man, wow, this is crazy. Like, you know, oh crap, here they are. What the frack is with them? Why did they just show up like that? Where the frack were you? I feel like, and they're all lost cohesion. They're all like in bad shape. I should probably put the artillery up here. And they have a new brigade in there. I think they only had 2 brigades originally. Now they have. Let's see if I can get my artillery on that hill. And then I'm going to have this guy come up as quick as possible. At the double quick. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. I keep watching, and then on YouTube and stuff like that, you see a lot of the. I mean, obviously, you see a lot of the stuff that is going on. There's also another channel I'll probably put in the description. I'll try to put it in the description of like another incident that I saw recently. Um, they also have these things called auditors, and I wasn't aware that these people existed, but apparently some people do this. They take their phone or a camera, and then they'll go into like post offices or police departments, and then they'll start recording just to record. And obviously, the number one thing that you get is like, you can't record here, and or even like in public, right? Not even in buildings. You get even in public where you have some person recording police officer and just recording like that. And the number one thing that I always get is like they come up to the cops come up there and is like, you can't record me, and you're like, well, this guy's being an A, right? That number one, right? Like, I understand he's auditing and he's trying to like ensure that the cops know the law and stuff like that, but you're trying to get on the cops. You're gonna annoy the cop, right? Whether you're doing a good thing or a bad thing, you're gonna annoy him. But when the cop goes like, "You can't film me; it's against the law" or something like that, you're like, "Dude, even I know that it's not against the law." And it just kind of concerns me that it's just like, and I guess it kind of goes to the academy too, like, and really, like in the academy, they focus on like the number one thing is like personal defense. Like, I can't tell you how much time they put into like I think I got more firearms training in the police department than I did in the military. I'm not joking. Um, the thing that concerns me though, when I was in the like academy, right? Like they want you. I guess the way I'm trying to position it is like in the military, whether you're in the Marine Corps or Army, right? They teach you how to fire a weapon, right? They don't say, all right, the enemy's over there. Hurry, hurry, like timing you, like to the point where you're firing that first round. In police department, they do. And they're like, all right, somebody's over there. Go, go, go. And you have, they time you, and it's just repetitive where like you're taking out your weapon, right, taking out and trying to, like, you're literally doing this for hours and days where you're just pulling out your weapon, trying to shave off that half a second, and just going right at it, right, having your thumb push down the whatever that thing is called and just go right into it, and you're doing that for so many hours, so many days. And I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, I don't know. And I guess my curiosity or my question in that aspect is maybe less on that, right? You're not going into a battlefield. If Army soldiers and Marines don't have to perform to that level of, like, you know, grab your weapon, kind of, do that, right? If the Marines and the Army are not doing that, why are you doing that, right? You're not going up against, an enemy force, a armed enemy force like the military. You're not being put in Iraq or Afghanistan where you're going to have 100 Taliban fighters shooting at you, right? You're guarding the streets, right? So maybe if the military, the Marines are not doing that and the Army's not doing that, maybe it's not a priority for you to do that, right? So in my head, and then maybe spend that time more on like de-escalation, which, I mean, I didn't see a lot of that, right? It was mainly PT, and there was a lot of like, also I forgot what they call it, NP, whatever, where you're on the floor and like, you're wrestling with another person. They do a lot of training in that, a lot, on how to like pin people and stuff like that. But yeah, I got more training in the police department. Um, yeah, I got a lot more training in the police department for using my weapon and firing as fast as I can than in the Marines, than in the, in the guard. Uh, right? Like, you don't even have infantry units. Like, I was attached to infantry units. Like, my armory was an infantry unit, right? So they didn't even go to that level of like. So it just kind of concerned me a lot. It really did, and I didn't say anything. But in the back of my head, I'm like, should we be like focusing more on like de-escalation? I didn't say anything because again, you're you're low ranking, so you're not gonna argue with people that are above you. But I just thought that in my head. So, kind of getting off that topic. All right, so I don't know where the heck they were. They finally came down. They're finally engaging me here. I'm bringing up the other two brigades that I had. I thought they were in the south, honestly. Which reminds me, I'm gonna bring you over here. I don't know how long it'll take to get that rider out there, but I'm gonna put McClellan right on top. Where's that fracking unit? Where's that? You're double timing, right? Yeah. So he's holding, surprisingly. And then I have these guys. I only have 3 guns? I thought I had 6. I was supposed to have like 10 because I took 4 of them last time. I'm surprised at the AI. You would think they have 3 infantry units, they would use 1 to flank me. Move the cannon, I want you to break them. So I wonder which unit, is it early Arkansas State Troops? This might be the new brigade. Yeah, I think this one is. So they brought in a fresh contingent of 1,200 soldiers with... Oh, that's nice. 1,200 troops. Ooh, they're getting wrecked. I got better weapons. And their cannon's garbage, man. I don't even think it's firing. Yeah, AI is not doing well in this one. He's still waiting for orders. I wish I can, like, captured him and such. Dude, I went to Starbucks. I got coffee. My I guess daughter-in-law got a strawberry refresher, and I got 3 cake pops, which is like, I'll stick with, a ball that's like cookies and cream or whatever flavor or whatever. I got 3 of those, and they're small. They're like this. $20. $20. I'm like, are you kidding me? $20? The cake pops are like $3 each. It's literally like 2 bites. Each bite $1.50. At the double quick, boys. Dude, we are destroying them. 80. No, 15. 60. I guess we're not destroying them that well. I was expecting like 200-300 men lost. Oh, come on, get there already. How does I have 3,000 men now? I guess I have a lot of people that are stragglers or something, because I had like 4,000 previously. And I'm still kicking that rear. I keep thinking about joining the Coast Guard Auxiliary. Now I know you're not military and stuff, and you're a civilian doing Coast Guard Auxiliary, but you can get you can augment and support the Coast Guard doing it. I was thinking about doing that, but I do military news on the side, so a lot of the reserve units that I cover do stuff on the weekends, so it would be kind of difficult. I would have to choose. I was talking to a general yesterday about, I was even thinking about going out to California because they're having an event out there. Then again, I don't know. How do you guys feel about flights? I know some people are so like okay with flying. I'm not one of those people. Like I'm definitely not one of those people. I remember going to Las Vegas when I was like, I don't know, 18, 19. It was like, and I just wanted to go at like a whim. I was just like, I want to go to Vegas. I had time off, so I just went. And I remember having to like have like 2 glasses of vodka before we took off. After the 2 glasses of vodka, right? I was good. I was like, all right, it's not bad. It's pretty good. So I definitely need that to get on a plane. But yeah, my wife is always like, "Oh, you don't like the plane?" I'm like, "No." I was just like, "Where?" I think somebody was either she or somebody was mentioning. I was just like, "What did you do in the military?" I was like, they tell you get on the helicopter. You got to get on the helicopter. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But the one thing I remember going on Blackhawks. By the way, Blackhawks, love Blackhawks, but I wish the Army didn't leave them open, the doors. Oh man, I was so before we got on there, I started looking at us, and I'm like, I started thinking, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be at the end, and some of the pilots like going like this, so you're like, what the? And the doors are open, so the straps are only holding in. Obviously, they're gonna hold. The straps are holding, but I remember just being like, I forgot. Rodriguez was behind me. I was just like, or behind me, or in front of me. I was just like, hey, Rodriguez. She's like, what? She's like, let me go in front of you. She's like, why? It's like, I don't know. I like that spot. All right, so I got it. And then I think when we got on the plane, she's like, I know why you freaking. It's like, yeah. I have 50 losses to their 150 here. 21 to their 35. Why does this guy only have 35 loss? I guess because he was back. And then Rugo's with another 150. I want to break him, man. But once I get the cavalry there, please don't tell me you're still in the town. No, you're coming around. If I can cut them off, I'm hoping. Where's my cavalry load? I think they have more troops than me, so I'm not gonna charge them. Obviously, 800 men or 750 versus 1200 is not a good idea. Give him double canister, Kuchi. Give him double canister. One thing I love about this, like, if you zoomed out, right, and you're like on a hill or something, like, this is one thing I love about this engine. I love the developers for this, because, like, you could see it from here. You got the lightning strikes lighting up the battlefield. You know there's a battle going on. It's just unbelievable. Oh, they suffer severe casualties under artillery fire. Dang it. Alright. I have 2 units hitting Rugel's brigade. Oh, they lost another 100 men. That's good. Alright, hopefully that does something. My cavalry, where are you, dude? There you are. End of the day, darkness has fallen. Alright, during night, you're inspect. Okay, cool. Okay. So, that's something 0.6. I forgot which one was the better one. I think this is the cheaper one. I asked my buddy to, like, let's play a computer game so we can play a game like this. And he's just like, better yet, when we're gonna play a board game? Like, you're in North Carolina. It's hard to do that. I want to play him in. This is my friend Yanni. I really want to play him in, like, in something. You know, like in some kind of war game. Oh man, this is not good, right? Oh, that works. That works. Right? Does that work? That should work. Yeah. All right, and then I'm gonna put in another one here. I guess not. Ah, crap. I guess not. Not enough. Oh wait, you know why? Ah, crap. This sucks. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Let's do it, I guess, here. See if I can build another one. Alright, that looks good to me. Boys and girls, let us continue destroying the Confederates. There we go. Alright, that should be good, right? I don't know, the artillery's right on top. Let's move them back a little bit. There we go. I don't understand why they're still trying to engage me. Like, I built parapet or whatever this thing's called, breastworks, whatever. So now why is this unit doesn't have the modification? Doesn't have anything that says in cover. Supported. Oh, they're building it now? Are you kidding me? Forget it. Yeah, forget it. Way worthless to do that. I guess you guys are gonna cover my flank. You would think that they would move one brigade this way, try to come up this way, then AI is not doing that. And they still think they're gonna win. I mean, they lost how many in this brigade? 150. And then in this brigade, they lost So 500 men. So 500 to my 350. And now I'm also entrenched. So I have no idea what the AI is thinking. And they're bringing them some Arkansas troops, figuring that 1,300 men is going to make much of a difference. Doubtful. Come on, boys. Kick them up. Kick them up. Start hitting those Arkansas boys. Disrupted cohesion. Once they're, as they're near the commander, that should go up. I don't want you to fire. I need you to rest so this way I can utilize you to cut them off. So my guy's not doing good. Look at this. 2 of those 3 hods. He's doing well though. Oh, Rugel's brigade is literally broken. All brigades just tearing up the Arkansas boys. Bringing up their casualties heavily. Maybe I'll just have you focus there. Alright. Now, come around, dude. I need you. Do that. I need you to come around once you start flanking them. Them just like dropping. And then I'm gonna, I don't know what Early's trying to do, but ain't gonna work. Jeez, he lost 305 men. Oh, that's why it says inexperienced. That's not good. I wonder, is like the AI completely cut off? That's why they're not doing a retreat or something? I mean, they're just getting ripped apart. I mean, I'm losing a couple guys here and there, but man. And you're low on ammo, down to 14, 25, and 23, and 30. Early's down to 300. Arkansas lost 200. They're down to 500. I mean, if we run out of ammo, we're just gonna charge them. You know, do a little Chamberlain. You probably wanted to have maybe 1 unit cover your flank. Just want to put that out there. And you probably don't want to charge when you don't have overwhelming force, right? Wow, broken. 500 men lost. Alright, we're not letting them go, guys. Keep firing. He's still coming. These troops are about to break. And wow, he lost 400 men. And now he alone. Alright, so what the enemy's trying to do now, we're gonna mount. And I'm gonna freaking ride them. We'll do cold steel. And charge them. I ain't letting them go away this time. I want charge across the whole field. We're take the field. I want at least 1 brigade completely gone. Come on. Charging is the hardest thing in this game. I don't know why, like, I issued the charge order and they still don't. Even when the rider gets to the unit and says, hey, charge, they're like, no. Okay. Charge? No. Charge? No. Okay. do cold steel, my friend. Where's freaking you? I really don't want them to go away. Come on, no one's gonna charge them. Seriously? Please. Oh, there we go. I saw for a second pop up. Did you guys see the cross sabers, whatever? It popped up for a second and it just went away. I don't know why it doesn't let me charge. So I issued the charge order, right? He's gonna send a rider out to that unit. Gonna send the rider out to that unit. There we go. So he's about to get there. He's about to get there. He's about to get there. You see, it flips and then it flips back. I don't like that. Men. And they left their guns, so their guns are somewhere in the woods here. I'm gonna speed this up. This is taking a while. I'm not gonna spend a half hour on this. Come on, guys, follow them. I see the cannons. They're right over here somewhere. Come on, I just saw it. And you let them go. Alright, whatever. 20x. Alright, so we won. I'm curious about the losses and my losses. I doubt this will be that much. Alright, so I lost only 679. That's not bad. I mean, technically, it's almost a third of the army. Lost 18 cavalry. I didn't lose any of my 3 guns. I took their 5 guns. They lost 1,300. So they're losing double the amount that I am. Dang, it's 7 o'clock already. Federal minor victory. I'll be honest, and I know some of you guys are going to flip out, but I might make McClellan in command of a major army. Because he's proving himself. Proving himself. By the way, did you see my new... I don't know if you guys can see my new poster. My Star Trek Picard poster. If you guys haven't watched it, you gotta watch it. Got like high marks on... heck, the whole internet's still talking about it. It's been over a week. Week and a half, and it's still like trending on Twitter. And if you're a big TNG from the 90s, you gotta watch it. Alright, so this is the only thing that bothers me. So I beat the crap out of that army, right? But it still exists. It's still right there. And I can't obliterate it. And now I can't go to Wheeling because my readiness is bad. Alright, I'm gonna assign a perk. I guess the ambulance corps I don't need. Pontoon train. Supply sappers. Land torpedoes, I don't need that. Partisan brigades. Nah. Really don't do the skirmishers. Should probably, right? Limelights. Nah, I don't need that. I don't know. What do you guys think is good? Movement speed plus 10, max supplies. Oh, I like that. Let's do flying column. I like having more supplies. It's always good to have more supplies. More than you need, you know? What did Napoleon say? An army marches on his stomach. I'm going to take Alexandria. This is down to 28,000? No, 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 no. What is going on? Holy crap. I think a whole bunch of guys went home. I had like 36,000. Or I guess maybe, no, even with 1,000. Oh, this is not good. I guess a lot of the people went home. Jeez, that's bad, man. That's bad. Considering that the Confederates here have 29,000 and then 12,000 here. They outnumber me heavily. Still one guy, Thomas. Alright, where are you at? Where are you at? Please tell me you're getting the bloody thing. Readiness, excellence. Excellence. Alright, you're heading here. How's your... Chow is bad. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Do you see him moving? And he's moving too. So, it looks like he's moving this army by road, obviously, because there's no transport. And he's moving this army by rail. So, he's going to come after the Grand Army of the Republic. And then, I'm thinking about moving him. Oh my gosh! Sorry. What the... Guys, I went from 36,000 to like a day ago to 29,000 to now at 19,000. What is going on with this army? Like, half the people just said, I'm done. I guess the enlistments expired or what have you? This is bad. Yeah, these brigades now are just nothing. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is bloody bad. Alright, I'm gonna move him over here. I'm hoping with... Hopefully he doesn't lose any more men, but I'm hoping with 20,000 plus his 16,000, 36,000 men I can... Wow, that's bad. That is horrendously bad. Tired of chasing this army, man. Everywhere I go. And I still only have 3 guns. I stole 5 of his guns. Apparently he got those guns back. It looks like they stopped moving. Oh, no, 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 no. Halt. Because he stopped moving. So we ain't gonna do anything until they continue moving. Because the last thing I want to do is be here and then they're like, ooh! Free shot to Baltimore. Oh no, what happened? Oh, man, that was not good. I forgot about that. Oh, no, 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 no. I forgot about the first fleet, man. Yeah, take me to the bloody first fleet, please. How bad is this fleet? Oh, man. Well, I guess Charleston, blockading Charleston is not going to be a thing. That's horrendously bad. I can't believe that. That is nuts. I think he's still moving this guy. Oh, man, this is so bad. Come on, get there. So he's going to be able to throw 29,000 against my 16,000. I'm hoping these guys show up. really can't believe the amount of soldiers I'm gonna lose in this. Like, I'm in horrendous shape. If you guys look now at this, check this out: 51,000 to their 93,000. The Confederates have almost a 2-to-1 advantage toward me. This is bad. Bad. So when you start this game, I just want to point this out. When you start this game, be sure that when you don't just rush into a battle, and this is what I love about this game. Don't rush into a battle, because if you rush into a battle and you lose, you might lose the war. And people are going to be like, no, that's not true. If you don't have draft, your volunteers will shrink. It means you can't you can't replace your armies. So I'm going to save it right here because this guy's going to come after me. And hopefully I'll continue later with the game. Because I got to go eat chow and got to help the wife. Yeah, the kid's crying a little bit more. But man, I love this game. And you know, one thing that it caught me, guys. Viper Day. No, I'm not. I'm not in the reserves anymore. Uh, yeah, no, I wish I was. I probably wouldn't be able to go in, unfortunately. Once I had my second kid, so I was always fit, always PTing, and then once I had my second kid, and work and three kids now because I have a stepdaughter, um, my PT just declined. My weight went up, so I even thinking about going in the military, I would need to lose like 20 pounds, and it sucks. But could join the Coast Guard Auxiliary. But yeah. What was I gonna show you guys? Oh, I wanted to show you guys this. So this thing bothers me. So this on Twitter. This is by far the best Civil War game I've ever played, and it only has 80% rating on here. 80%? Are you kidding me? This, and even 82 at the most recent reviews. This game, no offense, guys, I don't know how much they're charging now for it. $45. There is no other game like this. And as you can see, I mean, the AI does make sometimes stupid things here and there, but from what I see, the tactical and the campaign AI is far, far much better than it was before. But this game is incredible. I don't understand why, and it has so much stuff in it, from Navy, economy, production, all this stuff. It deserves more than 80 or 82. It deserves at least benchmark 90. So, dang, man, I can't believe I'm gonna add my own review. I haven't added it yet, but yeah, I'm even, and I think I have to do this because I think I was offered this with a product code. But anyway, let me go help the wife and kids and